All right, for segment 1 today, we are going to start our new series. Serious? Did I say serious? Our new series on Mutant Chronicles 3rd edition. Because our timing here in Legion of Myth is just absolutely spectacular, we said, hey, let's do Mutant Chronicles. Modiphius said, screw off, we're getting rid of the game. We said, that's fine, we're doing Mutant Chronicles in order to lead into Conan 2D20 after this one. So they said, screw you, we're getting rid of that game too. So our first 2 games of this year are games that are, I guess Modiphius is still selling, as we record this, is still selling Conan 2D20. But yeah, so that's a fun time. But we're going to teach you the 2D20 system, if that makes you feel better. And we're going to start today with the corporate factions. That is correct. And, whoops, because I can't put anything in the right order. There we go. We have that there. We believe that role-playing games should take place in fantastic worlds, and the focus of your game should be on role-playing and having a good time. Nothing but a good time. The core values of #RPGate and any good tabletop group are, what are the, Heathen Dog?
Escapism, not representation.
Entertainment over activism.
And organic inclusion, not forced diversity. And for anyone out there who needs an even more plain text interpretation of this, you play a game to get away from real life. If you bring real life in a game, you're a dick. Number 2, you want to play a game to have fun. Well, you can't have fun with dicks who bring their ideology, their human ideology, and make it into an ideology of a dwarf or an elf or a gnome or whatever. No, it doesn't fit. Keep your real life shit out of my peanut butter. I don't want it. And the last one, you play with the people who want to play with you. If someone tells you have to go look for all different types and strata and income levels and ability levels of people out there, or you're not allowed to play a game, you kick them in the ding ding. You play with who is there and who wants to play with you. And then you're going to have a good time.
Whether they want to save a whale or not.
There you go.
All right. Well, they were in our family-friendly part of it, but maybe next week. The charity we support is the Wounded Warrior Project, a national nonpartisan organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors. Please refer to the description below for the link to where you can make your hopefully tax-deductible donation. And finally, that's right, we have a schedule of things. So much stuff going on in Legion of Myth here. Join us on Thursdays and Saturday evenings on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth to watch Heathen Dog and his team of dirty casuals play multiplayer games for your mockery and enjoyment. And here on the YouTube channel, you can watch these game-related segments for, well, I can't even say these game-related words. Game, say it with me, related. There we go. Segments live every Sunday on 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Or check out the Friday Night Chill Stream panel where we opine, comment, and editorialize on the TTRPG hobby as a whole. You know, I shortened all that, and it's still longer than it needs to be. There we go. And live stream podcast, blah, 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 not a concise tutorial, subscribe. And there's the banner. And now here I will present. Boop.
No boop.
Go, look at that. Finally here, Mutant Chronicles. All right. How come I'm orange? You should be orange. You're actually looking orange.
I'm pink.
Yep. No, I'm talking the banner.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's fair.
So we're going to start today. And let me get this off the screen. You don't need to see that. We're going to start today, and we're not going to cover every word in this book. I know some of our deep dives, especially with Palladium, might get a little deeper than maybe we intended to, but there's so much lore in Palladium, right? Well, there's so much lore here as well, but I'm going to save a lot of that for you. But we are going to talk about the factions and what that means, and the quickest, most ridiculous summary of the timeline ever.
Wow.
In this first part.
Wait, you're going to get yelled at just like I got yelled at for those degenesis.
For the degenesis
tribes and shit. Yeah, you're going to get spanked online for that.
You know what? So, welcome to Mutant Chronicles. What do you need to play the game? If you haven't played an RPG before, I'd be really, really, really surprised if this is your first one ever. So I'm going to skip this because you probably understand what you need to play a game. All right, you do need players. There's some art. Kind of gives you the theme of the game. A lot of people say it's very 40K-ish. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
All right. So what is it? So what is Mutant Chronicles? I think this is a good place to start. Mutant Chronicles is a I quit. I can't read. I can't talk. Mutant Chronicles is a diesel punk techno fantasy game. So let's break that down. Diesel punk, The awful power of the dark symmetry. I'm not going to read this. What is diesel punk? Do you know what steampunk is? Overly metallic, big, chunky things that just look chunky. They look old, like you're trying to fly a rocket ship with a steam engine.
Right.
Well, diesel punk is similar. It's just it's not quite as chunky. It's more hair and shoulder pads.
No, I'm gonna go with a different analogy. I think this will help them picture it in their minds. Whereas steampunk, you have the old style Victorian level technology put together in ways that create fantastical machines, but they're clean. They seem very clean. Whereas diesel punk is a darker world. Everything, instead of powered by steam, is powered by a diesel engine. So everything's oily and dark, and it gives a theme that is more, I don't know about fatalist, but more depressing.
I don't know. My steampunk games that I've been in were pretty dark too. So I actually think that diesel punk, just in my experience, maybe diesel punk is more colorful, but it's more over the top. Steampunk is just, I don't know. You know what? Chat's going to disagree with both of us anyway. So why are we even? The main premise though is that that technology gets corrupted. So you don't want to be over technical, because it gets poo-pooed on pretty quickly here. And if you could watch chat for things to start, I've already started one. Well, I'm doing this because unfortunately it's way the hell over there on my screen. So now, what's techno fantasy? Well, it says it's a blend of dystopian cyberpunk intrigue in a larger-than-life world where shoulder pads are big and the hair is even bigger. Okay, so maybe I was mixed up the techno fan. Yeah, it's the 80s, right? All right, so this is the third edition of the game. There were 2 editions before this one. Obviously, it's third, but this is the one that's the 2D20. So if you know the Modiphius system, well, then you know how to play this game. If you don't know Modiphius 2D20, that's what we are going to go through in these different videos.
Woohoo!
Yay. And I got to tell you, before I read this, the 2D20 system was okay. I never really had any heartburn with it. I have a lot of heartburn with Modiphius as a company, but I also didn't fully understand it. Reading this book, not the Star Trek Adventures book, which is god-awful.
Gross. Not
Crafty's video, which wasn't bad. I mean, now that I read this, Crafty's video is spot on, or his message, I guess. But awesome. This book actually put it crystal clear. The D20 engine, 2D20 engine, is really simple. This book, I didn't have it out here. The book is fat. It's really simple. Most of that it's mostly skills, powers, equipment, because you're going to have to describe all that in a different type of setting than we have now. You could probably get rid of 3/4 of that book if you don't care about equipment, and the rest is the game and the history. So there are 3 time periods: the Dark Symmetry, Dark Legion, and Dark Eden. And we may or may not go over those. It all depends on what time frame you want to play in. I want to get to the game stuff, though. The factions is what we're really going to dive into in this segment here. So the main factions of humanity are divided into corporations: Capital, Bauhaus, Mishima, Imperial, and Cybertronic. However, there is one more big one that we'll get into, and that's White Star.
Is there Transformers?
No.
Cybertron.
No. Cybertronic.
They are Cybertronic.
Cybertronic. Though, in some regard, you're not too far off, because they don't do magic. They're Borgs.
Awesome.
Each of these is covered in its own chapter later in this book, and I think each one also has its own source book as well. Unfortunately, when Modiphius had its fire sale, I wasn't able to get them all because there's an ordering issue, and I had to wait 24 hours before I could actually push an order through. And so by that point, half the books were already sold out. So, but all right. Then, of course, there are freelancers that you can be. Now, what's the opposition? What are you fighting against? Well, you're fighting against this entire dark symmetry mechanic, we'll just call it. And this will definitely be a future episode. I think it's episode 3 or 4. So 2 or 3 weeks from now. Well, you'll be fighting against the dark apostles that were bad touched into this universe. And you will be against heretics who are like, you know what? I kind of like to be the evil guy in the universe, so let me go join them over there. And you're scratching your head going, why? You're human. You should join us. Like, nah. Yeah, it seems fun.
Self-hating humans. Hate them.
Right? The setting is Earth, except for no, it's not, because Earth is pretty much mangled. White Star is on Earth. The rest of the factions are like, ew, Earth is gross. Luna City is kind of the main hub. so to speak, especially if
the
you're
moon?
playing multi-factional. What's that?
Is that the moon?
Yes, it's on the moon. Yep.
Awesome.
So it's probably where most of your campaigns are going to start. The inner system, Venus, Mercury, Mars, and the asteroid belt. It's almost like the Expanse, where a lot of corporations are vying for different power. Each corporation is on different planets, but if I remember correctly, and we'll get into it in a little bit, but I think Mishima owns Mercury, Bauhaus has got Venus, whatever, but they're all there. The outer systems just stay away. Oh, wait, you want to play this game, so you're not going to stay away? Well, there you go. Now you got some stuff to do in the game because you're going to shoot each other, because that's where the dark symmetry is. That's where the naughty naughties are. If you were to say, hey, which planet were the naughty naughties discovered on, which planet do you think they'd be found?
Pluto?
There you go. And you're both correct in that Pluto is a planet, and that's where all the nastiness was found.
All right.
So good job. So now we're gonna dive into what the factions are.
Cool.
Or the corporations, factions, whatever. So huge, greedy, and duplicitous. The corporations dominate society and the universe of Mutant Chronicles. In the rush to escape the dead Earth, they swallowed up the roles of nation states, international conglomerates to form something new, corporate nation states. Wow. Let's just take out, nation states and international conglomerates. So let's just take out 3 words and call it corporate nation states. Couldn't have came up with a new term, each with its own distinctive tone and character. Capital. Now, for the folks out there who know this game really well and want to say, oh no, in source book X, Y, and Z, they changed it. We're only covering this book. I'm presenting to you the main book. Okay? So if there are changes, if there are updates, if there are differences, you see it on the screen right here. You see what, okay, so this is what we're covering.
Yeah. And moving forward for the rest of the damn year, this is how it's going to be. When I do a book, I am doing that book, the information in that book only. When he does a book, the information in that book only. There's errata, there's web content, there's Rifter books, there's equivalent for what? No. This book. That's it.
All right, let me zoom in a little more so you can see. Maybe that was too much. There we go. Capital, big, brash, and confident. I can't talk. Capital is the epitome of the American dream. Okay, I better not do it. Bringing together the cultures of North, Central, and Latin America, viewing itself as the natural leader of humanity. Okay, that sounds American.
Fair.
Not a view shared by other corporations. Sounds like America. Capital aims to bring peace, prosperity to my empire. And a bold new future to the solar system. Unfortunately, not everybody wants a Capitolian. That's a word. A Capitolian vision of the future. Why not? It's America. You're wrong. And you can learn more about that in chapter 30. Might do that. I don't know. These deep dives aren't going to deep dive as much as they used to because I want to give you the fluff, but we really just want to give you the game stuff. But you kind of have to understand where the game's coming from, right? Now, Bauhaus. Traditional, ordered, and cultured. Sounds like Germany. Mm-hmm. Bauhaus is strongly influenced by Germanic, Scandinavian, European source cultures. Bauhaus has a strong belief in the inherent correctness of its system. Sounds like Germany. I lived there for 11 years, folks. Sounds like Germany.
No one cares. Move on.
Everything should have a place, and there should be a place for everything. This design aesthetic applies to everything it makes, from the smallest pistol to the greatest skyscraper. Citizens of Bauhaus pride themselves on their efficiency, a trait outsiders consider arrogance. Again, Germany. Mishima. Honor, duty, sacrifice. Mishima embodies the culture of shogunate Japan and the might of the 20th century Japanese. Kiritsu. Okay. Wife. Kiritsu. No, it'd be Reitsu.
Kiritsu.
Kiritsu. Whatever the hell that is. Corporate chats. If I'd known that word was in there, I'd had her pronounce it for me. Corporate chats. Okay. Mishima favors the good. Does it? Above all. The good above. Let's go there.
Above that of the individual.
Yep. Good of all above that of the individual.
Right. Makes sense.
And is the undisputed industrial leader. Well, that's a little weird. It is considered polluting and myopic by outsiders. Oh, so it's China, not Japan.
Mm.
You can learn more in chapter 32. Imperial. By the way, every single time I roll up a character for this game, somehow he ends up being Imperial. It's weird. Aggressive, proud, and expansionist. Yes, they are space orcs. A coalition of bickering clans with a strong British Commonwealth accent. Well, they're British orcs. Imperial views itself as the underdog corporation and will grab any chance to grow. It was Imperial's conquistadors who unwittingly freed the Dark Legion from its ancient prison. Again,
Our bad.
yeah, they touched things. This looks creepy and evil. Should we touch it? Let's pack it on the ship and go. Okay. Free the Dark Legion from its ancient prison in an attempt to explore the outer reaches of the solar system. Quixotic and heedless is what outsiders think. You can learn more in Chapter 30.
Well, it's what outsiders think because it's what they've done. I mean,
right?
You're the idiot who did this? What the hell? It's not our fault. It's just our way we are. Like, stupid? Is that you're stupid? That's the way you are. Get the hell
Remember
out.
that old commercial, don't touch it, you'll break it?
No.
That's what, oh, you know, okay, that's what happened here. Don't touch it, you'll break it. I didn't break it. No, you broke the universe. Good job. Now, Cybertronic, a newcomer to the scene. In fact, if you play in the older, like I showed you, there are 3 settings that you could play in. If you play in the older settings, Cybertronic doesn't exist.
Oh.
A newcomer to the scene, appearing in the Dark Legion time period. Cybertronic was primarily formed out of defectors from Bauhaus, but with smaller contributions from other corporations. It embraces technology in a universe where technology cannot be trusted. Viewed with suspicion by many outsiders, Cybertronic offers striking and enigmatic vision of the future. You can learn more in Chapter 34. Like I said, we may or may not go over those factions. I don't think it really matters too much for the game. Just we want to give you the feel. So White Star, the White Star faction is another important one to talk about. Not technically a corporation, the soldiers of White Star, led by the Tsarina, provide a blunt, no-nonsense counterbalance to the conspiracy and backstabbing of the corporations. From its bunkers in Siberia, guess where Siberia is? It's on Earth. So White House is actually on Earth, the dead planet of nastiness. Its warriors range out from the icy waste to the depths of space to bring the Tsarina's punishment to those who abandon the homeworld. Basically, you broke us and you left? Like, yes, we did.
You know what? They're just pissed that no one took them with them. They're just pissed that they got left behind. So they're whiny little Russian babies pissed that they got left all alone and everyone took their ball and went away.
Yeah.
Little babies.
Well, I mean, they're from Siberia, you know, they were already living in a hellhole. They're like, what's the difference?
Yeah, they don't see a difference.
The cartel, conceived as a neutral meeting and mediation space for the corporations, not going to go into that. Brotherhood is a little more important. One of the few sources of social aid. The charitable works of the philanthropic Nathaniel Durand and his brothers in the Dark Symmetry time period challenged the pure capitalism of the corporations. Yeah. By the time of the Dark Legion period, they have become the religious order known as the Brotherhood, self-appointed protectors of humanity from the Dark Legion. Now, the 2 brothers are nutsos as far as I'm concerned. But again, I've only read the surface level of them. In fact, or was it one brother that was nuts? Either way, screw them. The Brotherhood, able to tap into supernatural abilities that become known as the arts. So if you want to play space magic, you join the Brotherhood. So I want to be Borg, Cybertronic. I want to be Space Magic, Brotherhood. I want to play Intrigue, everyone else. I hate Intrigue, White Star. There you go. Luna PD is founded as capital of the moon. It's basically, that's kind of like the one place. That's I'm going to use this reference. That's the sigil of Planescape. That's where everybody kind of comes together. So if you've got a group of part Bauhaus, part Mishima, just start on Luna City. It'll make your life a lot easier. There we go. And of course, you can see the factions, how they like each other, how they don't like each other, who they get along with, and so forth. But we're not going to get into all that. I'm going to skip most of the timeline. Now,
why?
There is a player's guide to this game. This is the full core book, 500 pages. There's a player's guide to this where you won't see nice little fancy red things here. These red things refer to or game master only information, which is right at the end of this. So every player who owns this book read it. like, you think I didn't read it? I read it. But theoretically, if you're honest and not human, you've got these little flags here to say, don't read this part, right? Whatever. So the only part that I care about is, yeah. So technology went up, people went to the stars, corporations came in, it turned into Shadowrun, and then we have the Dark Symmetry era. The artifact discovered. Hey. The journey takes place over a year, but as soon as the HSSS Harbinger reaches Pluto, it immediately begins terraforming the world. Terraforming Pluto. Excavation for huge superconducting generators designed to tame the planet's gravity field goes well, until the 14th and final regulator strikes an unidentified obstruction, shattering the diamond-tipped drilling head a kilometer beneath the surface. Unsure how to proceed, the Imperial Conquistadors request orders from Victoria. Receive conflicting orders. The first from the Imperial AI orders them to document the obstruction's location and abort the mission pending further investigation. While the second sent, what's that?
Smart.
Yeah, well, it's an AI, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we should listen to the AI. Musk might be right. While the second, sent by the human board of directors, countermands the AI and orders them to investigate the nature of the obstruction. All right. So what happens? After extensive excavation, again, words, the Imperials recover an artifact and bring it on board the Harbinger for further study. The artifact is a large metallic tablet made of a dark, lustrous metal of unknown alloy and engraved with an unknown language. Point of order. Everybody that goes into space needs to watch 2001 and 2010 Space Odyssey. When you see the monolith, you don't touch it.
No. You get a really big cordon and you put big guns all pointing outward, and then you leave it the hell alone.
Right?
Forever.
So,
as a matter of fact, personally, I would abandon the whole planet. There's a good abandon the whole planet. Just leave.
The tablet defies analysis.
Yep.
That alone should be like, hey. Though hampered by communications interference, they managed to send a brief report back to Victoria, rashly determining that the artifact presents no threat. Sir, it defies analysis. We can't even understand what it is. We'll be fine.
No threat. We have no idea what it is. All our scans bounce off it. Conclusion, it's fine.
He utters the phrase, "She kissed me before dying." Oh, the lead geologist touches it with his bare hands. Remember, don't touch things.
No.
He utters the phrase, "She kissed me before dying." His death is rapid and grotesque. Like his body as his body is flash frozen from within. Immediately, the Harbinger system begin to malfunction. I know this is the opposite of being flash frozen from within, but just imagine for a second, you touch something and you go all Raiders of the Lost Ark. Don't.
It's like
that ship.
Inside Out. Yeah.
All right. So, final transmission, big screams, the last things that are heard, and all of a sudden the Dark Legions start pouring out.
Pouring out of where?
Okay, I'll read it. Fearful that they may lose the ship's communication, shortly after the transmission is sent from an unknown location on Pluto that later became known as the Big Scream. As the Big Scream travels from station to station, by the way, what that released was a demon basically trapped in the center of Pluto.
Oh. Okay.
By forces much more powerful than us, because, we're new to space travel.
Sure.
Like, let's imprison something in a rock floating around the solar system, whatever. So as the Big Scream travels from station to station, it burns the minds of operators, incinerates Imperial's ImpCom station, spreads to the wider solar comm, and causes power systems to overload and detonate. Hey, I got Heathen Dog, are you there? Are you there? Boom! What the?
Yeah, obviously no threat.
No threat.
No, it's fine.
Like ripples in a pond, whether from the big Scream or some other source, the corruption spreads through the solar system. AI systems across the inner worlds began manifesting strange anomalies in their operation. And this is the core of the game. This is why technology is something that you kind of avoid as much as possible. I mean, you've got to have some technology be in space, right? But sure. Can we dumb it down? Maybe let's go with the carburetor instead of the fuel injector now?
Battlestar Galactica type technology.
Yes, there you go.
There you go. Where no systems are networked together. There's no artificial intelligence to get its own opinion about shit. It's just everyone's got, levers and dip switches, and that's good enough.
The anomalies become ever more severe and begin causing fatalities. Panic spreads, you think? Orbital and planetary craft malfunction, sometimes at the cost of all lives on board. That's usually what happens when you're stuck out in space.
Yeah.
Power and
doors open.
Right. Everything went all Event Horizon. All right.
My submarine's got a screen door. That's great.
But sir, it didn't have a screen door yesterday. Does that matter? We're gonna die whether it's a screen door. We're dead. Thousands die from cold and starvation. Transport industrial systems fail catastrophically, and automated defense systems turn on their human masters.
Awesome.
So remember when you put those defense systems out there to aim at the monolith? Well, now they're...
Well, that's only because some asshole touched it.
Right. Within weeks, the financial credit system and data archives on Luna corrupt. Okay, again, I don't need to read everywhere. You get what's going on here.
Anything attached to a computer, it was friggin' Armageddon. The future stock market, currency exchanges, all of them went to like it was worth everything and then worth nothing.
We turned a 1 to a 0.
It was crazy. It was crazy. It was mass hysteria, dogs and cats and such.
So people start retrofitting machines into older formats. Like I said, we went from fuel injectors back to, or we went to fusion drive back to carburetors, right? The corporations strive to maintain their holdings and consolidate their military machines, as each suspect the fall was the work of the rivals.
What? Seriously? How fucking... Nope. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cuss on that one, but how stupid can a game make all humans? Every leader of every single corporation thought, oh, this obviously supernatural thing that could never ever happen. Every AI, every computer system is all going down at once. If you are not able to do this, odds are no one else is either. And yet they still believe it's some other mastermind human behind the scenes who has this five generation leap in computer virus technology. What are you, stupid? No. Sorry.
No,
that's just bad writing.
This is but it's I agree it's bad writing, but the flip side of it is an absolute common trope used in Cyberpunk, Shadowrun, Warhammer here. It's a trope.
Ugh.
Yeah. So let's see. Do I want to read that? No. Basically, it just spreads into war. The main thing I wanted to get out there was that some folks unleashed some nasty out there. Now we can talk about the brothers.
The Brits did it.
Imperial
did it, right? Yeah. The Brits did it. And I don't trust anyone who likes blood sausage. I don't.
Going to talk about the brothers. Again, I don't think it's important to actually talk about them at this point. You can read it, but that it is what ended up creating the Brotherhood. You're the Cardinal. This is when the world starts to kind of come around. Like, maybe we should follow these things. Maybe we can push back against the Dark Legion. And there we go. Dark Legion. So they're these monoliths, these artifacts where the Dark Legions pop out of, and they spawn up damn near everywhere in the solar system. Good news is, on the inner planets, they've been able to fight them back pretty well. On the outer planets, we've just pretty much given that up. So, all right, that is the oversimplified version of the factions and the background. Intentionally oversimplified. Well, I thought you were doing a deep dive. I understand, but you see how I'm scrolling through all this. You see how long this is? You can read it. Just wanted to give you what the premise. Now, this is the Dark Lead. This is the second. So if we got to here are the secrets. You want to read the secrets? There you go.
No, skip the secrets.
There.
No spoilers. No spoilers. Don't you dare pause this.
Don't you dare. Well, I was scrolling pretty quickly there. I don't know if